Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Good Luck Have Fun with your boys Ben, Dan and James, and we are with you today to talk about Age of Sigmar 4th edition and what we think so far. It's good. No, I think it's safe to say that each of us have had a fantastic time so far with 4th edition.
I agree,
Except when Bellacor's on the table.
Yeah, except when you run Be'lakor in a 1k army, because
Can't lean out,
someone
mate.
does
I
that.
knew they were salty about it. I fucking knew they were. It is a gimpy move, me putting it in there, but I finally actually wanted to win one.
That is also fair.
It's true, it's true. Your cheeks have been slammed. But 4th edition has been out now for a little bit of time. We've had a good few games each with each other. You as your Stormcast, me as Skaven, you as your Slaves to Darkness.
Yeah, man.
The games have been memorable.
They have.
For better or for worse.
Yeah.
They have been memorable.
The games can change very quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
and
what I love about it.
Me too.
There have been some
I
cheeky
think
antics.
we've all had different experiences with it as well. We've had really high highs and really low lows, especially when it comes to games.
Absolutely.
We've lost by a lot, but
Yeah.
we've also won by a lot.
Our latest game
yeah.
that we played, we started playing at like 7 o'clock and it went on to like just after midnight. It was so back
There were so
and
many
forth.
outplays and so many
Yeah.
times where there was so many moments where we were both just there going, but if I do, then you, There was so much of
But
that.
it was so sick.
That was something that I never really got in 3rd edition. We always ended up going to attrition.
Yes.
We always ended
Yeah.
up thinking, well,
I don't need
you
that
did more.
objective.
Yeah, everyone did it. But now it's like you really have to think
Yeah.
about your victory point.
You pick and choose kind of which objective you're going to go for and how you're going to play it out. And so all of a sudden, it's not just about fighting in the middle of the board. You want to have a flanking unit. You want to have something in your back pocket where you'd be like, I'm going to wait for him to leave that objective. I'm
Well,
going to wait for my opponent to move away, thinking they're safe, thinking they've got that sticky.
Yeah.
And then, boom, you've got like a gnaw hole appear next to it, or you've got
Well,
prosecutors in the sky.
There's just so much space for that maneuverability. In the unboxing video, we mentioned sticky objectives as a thing now. Every single unit, unless stated otherwise, literally has to walk on an objective, it owns it, and it can leave it. You don't have to just dedicate a unit for a whole game to hold an objective. And that, for me, is so great because my biggest anxiety playing 3rd Ed is rushing an enemy objective because I have to.
Yeah.
Like, because you've had to leave your warriors on an objective.
Just sat there.
And I'm thinking, my guys can't take on 10 warriors. I've got no chance. But
Well,
when
I also can't move him. So it's like...
Exactly. But when it's sticky and you can go, oh, hang about, actually, there's that objective in no man's land. No one's got that yet. Going to shimmy them over.
Smart, yeah.
And then I can think, oh, cheeky no hole there. And it just opens the game up
It does.
so
Keeps the
massively.
game moving a lot. There's a lot of 3rd Ed to stop and start. I don't know what to do here because there's literally nothing for me to do. I want these objectives. I don't want to move off them. Now you know you've got it. You can just carry on the game. If I want to get that charge in, I can.
Yeah.
If I want to just have a move, or even if I want to retreat now and get a rally in, I can. It just opens it up to a lot. Having the victory points there and it being a lot more objective based, it's definitely changed my mindset, especially as a new Warhammer player.
Yeah.
Playing against these guys, very objective oriented for the years you've been playing it. I never was because I was thinking big man hit hard.
Big man do
anything-
hit hard.
Yeah.
No, you're thinking, big man, try to hit hard, die turn 1.
Demon Prince, thanks, you little bitch. Happens every
Fuck
time.
you, Demon Prince.
So again, since 4th Ed, he's turned out to be a pivotal part.
Yeah.
He's been MVP.
Yeah,
Some games.
most
He's
games.
Strong, man.
Yeah, really strong, but I think it's because they've changed the weapons. They've
Yeah.
changed that you don't have to have ranged weapons anymore. It's literally combat range. You can literally pull aggro, which you never did in 3rd. Huge changes to mine personally that I can't complain about because I could kind of build around any kind of 1k and I can still come at someone with
Yeah.
a good team. I love 4th so far.
It's a really
brilliant.
strong start. It's a really, really strong start.
It is. I do have one beef with it. Points per unit. So we've all felt it. People would take, little units and they'd only cost 50 points. And granted, yes, they spent most of their time sat in an objective until turn 4 where you kind of just threw them at something.
Yeah.
Now, I struggle to make a list under 1.5k because the points values just feel a little iffy. You've got 140 points for one unit, nothing for my army. Nothing in Stormcast that's worth taking is below 110 points.
Yeah.
Add all that up and play that numeric Tetris to just get a decent list where you're not 70 points behind.
Yeah, the amount of Skaven lists I've made just over 900, and there's literally like 2 models in the whole Skaven Codex that are under 100 points, and I don't want them.
Or creating a 1500 that's 10 points under or 10 points over.
Yeah.
It's like, you really don't want to come to a game with 10 points under, and you can't 10 over.
What sucks though is you go in 10 points down. You start playing any number of points down. You're in your head. You're thinking, I'm going to lose this.
And
because
yeah,
they've got stronger
back
army
foot.
than me. I'm on the back foot. And you can't help but think
You
that.
can't help that. But again, I think the way they've done it, I agree with you. Well, both of you. It's so hard to get bang on the money with a really well thought out army. It's really.
But I think they've been smart with it because a lot of the big heavy hitters are like 300 points on the dot or 400 points on the dot.
Yeah.
And I think they've been fucking 5D chessing the maths here to make it so if you want to run a list with a big dude, it kind of ski-whiffs what you can add to it because the maths doesn't work.
Got big scary unit. Not only do you pay the points value, you also have to make sure your army then builds around that and facilitates you being able to take it while still thinking, but I'm going to need flank units, I'm going to need objective units, I'm going to need someone to just sit there and take the charge. They've also added, I don't know if it works as much for your units, and I know Skaven have got some nice little tricks up the sleeve that really are thematic and do work.
Yeah.
Stormcast are more about getting charged. I want to be charged.
Come and fight me.
Yeah. Come get me because I'll strike first. I'll make you strike last. Or I can make half of your unit strike last. I can do all these little shenanigans whereby I can now drop in the center of the field. If I don't get the charge, it's not the end of the world. I was really worried going into 4th because they changed a lot of Stormcast's really strong abilities. And they were very strong. You'd have an ability where you got a charge off. You added the number from the dice. So you roll a 10. You take 10 dice, you roll them. On 4-ups, you're dealing mortal wounds. Very strong, especially, if you roll in hot that game. The unit you charge could end up dying before you even get into combat. Now it's, I can charge you, but if I roll a 4-up, you're striking last. It's not mortals, it's just... I'm still might do the damage.
It's similar to the chariot. Mine was a roll of dice for every inch you moved. It's nowhere near that now. It is 80 points or 90 points. But I think that ability is really strong, especially if you were to give it demonic speed. It would have an 18-inch charge. So for you to roll potential 18 mortals is pretty stupid.
It's busted.
It's pretty busted for like some 80-point chariot that could take out pretty much anything that's on the board.
And charging
in
Be'lakor with a chariot and murking him.
Exactly. Like, there's a few things that I'm a bit disappointed about the changes, but feel like it was pretty necessary because that's pretty harsh. I do agree because mine are similar to yours with the case of I've got high wounds, I take a lot of damage, especially if I've got marks of Nurgle on a lot of my units. They're going to have less rend. They're going to stay on the board for a long time. So you want to get charged and you want to get them in. Obviously, with the Mark of Khorne, you get that extra attack when you charge, which is nice. That's always going to be a thing. Khorne is, I'm fucking charging you. You're dead. I want your blood. Bang.
Bang. Bang that army as well.
Bang that army, bro.
But you love Skaven, you glad they're back.
Oh, God, mate. Skaven have... What's really funny is, because my brother's very big on keeping up to speed with, like, tourney win percentages. Skaven are, like, bottom tier in terms of tourney standards. They're, like, second from the bottom. They're poo by tourney standards. But I think they're really good and really fun. I've had some amazing plays with them. What I love about them is that, in true Skaven fashion, a lot of their stuff is a case of deal damage to yourself but buff yourself. Like the Rat Ogres, you can deal D3 mortals to your Rat Ogres to give each one an extra attack for that turn. Rattling Warp Blaster, you can do your roll 6d6 plus 3, but for every one that you roll to hit, you take a mortal wound. And 2 games, like a game against you, I blew my own Warp Blaster up turn 1 just to rank out some fire damage.
That was on my Theridons and my Myrmidon.
Don't get
this unit.
Hear me out, right? So we went down to our local Games Workshop to play this game, right? And I've never had to hold in rage so hard. In this game, turn 1, fire my Warp Blaster, 66 shots. I kill 1 Theridon. My guy has a paddy. I can tell he's sour. He's like, what? My Theridon. Because you just murked James without anyone dying. I kill one of his turn 1. He's like, shit. But then this man and his Be'lakor minced us. Absolutely minced us.
He was gonna, wasn't he?
Literally stood no chance.
None.
And I was like, I've got to take this on the chin. I'm stood in the middle of a shop. Store manager stood, well, the cover manager at the time stood behind
going
me.
somewhere public to break up with someone. They can't make a scene.
Or you said no to marrying me in public.
And I was just like, okay.
I mean, I know it's a bit of a shitty move bringing Be'lakor to a 1k, just choose better armies, I mean.
Hey, yo. I took in Draster. I misplayed her, granted, but I took
She died turn 1.
just obliterated.
With you, I think the the deployment zone wasn't really in your favour, and the fact that I was able to deploy after you put Andrasta down, I was able to pretty much just put my Theridons next to her.
Also,
she was gonna die.
James was not actually able to deploy Andrasta there because she was within 9 inches of your territory, and you can't do that. You have to be over 9 inches.
Yeah, we later found rules changes there.
Yeah. So James should have been safe turn 1, but I feel like you would have moved her forward onto the objective anyway.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah,
she was absolutely business.
That is the thing with my Theridons and Myrmidon. Between them, they're 390, and they hit like a train.
They do.
It absolutely
Powerful.
is disgusting.
Powerful.
So 5 wounds each. The Myrmidon is like 7.
Yeah.
And that Myrmidon could have just done it himself.
Yeah.
He can just walk about killing everything. He does deal so much damage.
You raise a very good point about that unit, though, because it's something I've noticed looking at all the different armies. I'm a fiend for making army lists on armies I don't own. I just go through and make them all. I love it.
Because you'll buy it at some point.
Of course.
Yeah.
Age of Sigmar inbound. There's a running trope through most of the armies whereby there's one character that will then give a separate unit strike immediately after. Your Theridons and Myrmidon have it.
Yeah, my Myrmidon can let my Theridons go straight.
My Lord Terminus and Reclusions have it.
Yeah.
There's a couple of units in the Sisters of Cain. They've got it, and it's a very powerful unit. It does cost it tends to cost 300 plus, but it's a very strong. Your Lord goes in, and then immediately after, which ignores fight first and everything like that. So you're better off using it in your opponent's turn. Yeah. So you want to get charged in that instance.
Yeah, because any fight back,
Yeah.
you're literally on that. You're on that first phase of the combat. Yeah. You've got 2 fights.
Yeah, your powerful Lord strikes, and then immediately after, his retinue of just super strong units also strike in.
Yeah.
I mean, it happened in our game, and I wiped out, 15 out of 20 clan rats
Oh god,
in just one
yeah.
swing?
16.
Yeah.
16 clan rats he got rid of in that one combat. They cleave horde units.
Yeah.
It's
And that was
crazy.
before he got to fight. But it's a very expensive wombo combo.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it trope I've seen running through quite a few armies now. So I think that on top of the idea of bringing units back, most armies have got a reincarnation rule. I've got
Unless you
Heaven
play
Sent. I'm sure you've got one.
With the only one I've seen is Eternus. It's the only one I've seen.
Lord Eternus.
Yeah. He is. If you've got a Bellica on the field, you have to roll less.
Yeah.
But you can always bring him back. But he's the only one I've seen that you can bring back. I've not looked at any like Chaos Furies or anything that's more like Beast-like, anything like that. That's the only one I've seen that you can kind of bring back. The only thing is Sorelli, obviously.
Yeah.
The same as anything. But the thing is that rally changed because we used to be able to have a rule with Knights and Warriors. When you had the Legion of Chaos, you used to be able to roll a 4 up if you chose that. What is it called? Legion. It was a Legion, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When you chose that Legion in 3rd, you were able to roll for a 4 up instead of a 6 to get anyone back, which was great. Never was able to use it because I always used to have Dave Saurus up my bumhole.
Dave, if you're watching this,
Yeah, man, with your sore ass Warriors.
You're the sore ass.
I feel sore ass. That's the only thing that changed. But other than that, I don't actually think anything has the option to bring back.
Your Heaven Sent's just once per battle, isn't it?
yes, it's once per battle, and it's an army rule. You might want to double check your army rules.
Yeah, I do have Chaos Spawn. There used to be a thing where you can die and become Chaos Spawn.
Yeah, that's been a consistent thing through Chaos.
Maybe that's the thing. I don't
Possibly.
know.
But I mean, your rats have got it as well.
Rats are so about coming back.
Is it not just a reinforcement thing?
No. So you've got Rally, which will bring models back. But then most armies have also got a special rule within their, any army, whereby you bring back a certain number. Ben's, yours is what, D3 rats?
So clan rats have the ability that makes it so at the end of turns you roll D3 for every clan rat unit and they get that many rats back. I also have in my turn, it's either end of turn or beginning of my turn, but the Norholes have their Skaven ambush ability.
Right.
So I think I have to roll like a 3 up or 4 up or something. But if I get it, I can bring back a Skaven infantry unit back at half capacity.
Yeah.
Rounded up. I mean, if I had a 3-man squad of rat ogres, I could bring 2 of them back if I rolled for it.
Well,
I could bring 10 clan rats back. And I did that in a game against you. They didn't do anything in the end. But
It's like playing Nighthorn all over again.
Nighthorn are vicious, man.
They're horrible.
They're scary.
Yeah. Their ethereal rule to deny rend is just one of the most powerful things.
Fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
At least, and this is one thing I'll say about Nighthorn, is I'm so glad you can't re-roll ward rolls anymore, because I know you watching Ben. Watching him re-roll ward rolls, I could have probably broke his legs.
He would have just rolled a ward roll against them.
Yeah, back together.
The thing is, it was a 5-up ward as well, wasn't it?
No, it was
a really low. Was it now a 5-up ward?
No, you can't re-roll them now at all.
Yeah, but it's now a 5-up.
Oh, is it a 5-up? All right,
Yeah.
I'd rather that than re-rolling. Have it 49 hits or 49 wounds, and he's rolled all of them.
Yeah.
Great that.
Overall, what are our thoughts on 4th?
I love it. I love the way there's secondary objectives, and you can pick one if at the start of the turn. If you go second that turn, you can go, I want to pick this ability, take the flanks, where if I finish the turn with a unit on either side within 6 inches of the board, I get an extra 4 victory points.
It helps having an extra underdog rule. Is the fact that, you know, you don't feel like, God, I'm getting absolutely smashed. It really does help.
I was going to say, at the end of mine and James's last game, it really came down to us. Well, I mean, James rolled for, you know, pick first turn. He got priority on the last round that we played. But even when he was picking, he was actually like, do I want first turn? Or do I want that second objective? Because we were like 2 points apart from each other. You know, it was a really close game. It was so back and forth. I loved it.
That's what you want. I mean, have you guys played Spearhead yet?
No, not yet.
No, so I played one game of Spearhead, and it's really fun. And I won't talk on it loads because it's literally the big game made smaller. Every round you get battle tactic. Well, you got 3. You got to basically do 3. All the victory points are kind of more compact, so you can only get like 6 as a max or 7. It's a smaller board, and it's really fun if you've got a couple of hours just to spare. If you've got your Vanguard boxes or your Spearhead boxes, you know, that's kind of it. It's really good for entry level people who want to play just quick games of Warhammer, or they don't want to spend too much.
Well, you buy the Spearhead box.
Spearhead is tailored for new players and veterans. It's tailored for the new players that want to get into it and just get a game going, and for the veterans that are now in their 30s and 40s with families and full-time jobs.
And I think it probably took us about 2.5 hours. You know, I was literally just moved house the day before. So Warhammer.
Can I just point out that neither of them brought a tape measure, so they had this crappy 6-inch
Oh,
ruler.
we did.
So that would have made it take even longer.
That was the day before download. That was the game. I couldn't find my tape measure. The day before download, I couldn't find it, so we had this little Hello Kitty fucking or Disney characters little 15 centimeter ruler.
15 centimeters. That's massive, bro.
15 centimeters.
Huge.
Massive. But Spearhead overall took about 2.5 hours, and it was really fun. It felt like a board game. You know, more than it did a mini war game. So no, really fun. Really like Spearhead. 10 out of 10 we'll play again.
What do you think, James? What's your thoughts on the whole 4th ed?
So I think my final thoughts on it really are going to be, I love the underdog rule. It's the best way of making players feel like they've still got a shot. Too many times you like turn 2, everything's dead, GG. No,
oh my god,
get back into it. You've always got that fight.
I feel like that could have happened a lot in 3rd and did. Where you second round in, you've got 2 or 3 units left. You're kind of like, well, fuck me then. You know,
and it takes away the burn of that first turn charge, because all of a sudden you're like, that's fine, all right, okay, there's a bit of a fight going on, I might lose, they might lose, there's so much other stuff to go and get. That is fantastic. The way they've done VP overall, awesome. I think the way that they've changed all the armies so that even when you are starting to lose things, they've just focused the game so much on you're down but you're never out. That's probably my favourite thing. I personally haven't tried Spearhead, and I'm not sure if I'm going to, because I'm not a big fan of having a list written for me.
That puts me off. I want to give it a go.
I'll probably give it a shot, but I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it as much as I enjoy the main game.
I mean, just going off the set list, you have got a set list of things, but the fact of having so many variables that would change how the game goes, especially with what army you're playing against or whatever, having the set list is a bit rubbish, but because, again, all in variables that could change, the battle tactics, the underdog rules, all that kind of stuff, you will have a very different game every time. It wouldn't be a case of, I know everything about this set list, you know, it kind of puts me off. You would have a very different game, especially if you play a different game or whatever. You know,
but also the Stormcast, the Stormcast one includes a chariot. I don't want to build a chariot.
You still not built your chariot, bro?
No.
Fucking have mine. I'm just not painted yet.
But yeah, overall, I think they nailed simpler but not simple, and they've absolutely smashed the down but not out.
The very easy, so easy.
Yeah, you know it is. It's a lot better now, I think, for new players to play this edition.
Yeah.
So again, that helps with the Spearhead. Overall, very happy.
We're loving it. Stay tuned for more. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to be part of our Discord, which is full of Warhammer nerds, if you've got your own army, you want hints, tips, you just want to share the hobby with other people, you'll find the link in the description.
Thanks for watching.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.